Hello there everyone, welcome back to another video about a children's trading card game. We're back with another market watch this week. Before we get into it though, I did want to make a quick announcement. As you can tell, this is a couple of days earlier than usual. The reason for that is I'm going to be traveling over the next few weeks. I'm going to visit my partner, so I'm not going to have time to record any new videos. So what I've done is I've got a bunch of them that I've pre-recorded and I've got scheduled to fill that gap pretty much until the new year when I get back. So sorry about that. You're not going to see, if there is any breaking news, you're not going to necessarily get a super up-to-date video from me about it, though if it's really cool, I'll try and do something. But you can look forward to a bunch of deck profiles and stuff coming up in the next few days. So please do subscribe to the channel if you want to see that. 80% of you are not subscribed, which is nuts. So please subscribe to the channel. I'd really, really appreciate it. But with that said, let's go ahead and jump into the market watch. And man, some interesting stuff to talk about today. So we'll begin with the sealed product. Case prices starting to go down. They were about $1,800 last week, if I remember correctly, so down $100 as we get closer and closer to that, fabled second wave. Now I'm hearing something about it potentially happening sooner than March. I hope it does, because I would like to see prices go down in this game. There's a bunch of stuff I still want to pick up in terms of alt arts that I just didn't have the money to grab on release, so it is what it is. However, these super pre-release starters are climbing. Straw Hat Super Pre-Release starter at almost $200. I mean, this is ridiculous to me because I guess there's just such a short supply of them on the market at this point. But look, I don't think the alternate artworks look particularly good. So I guess, it's each their own. If you really like it, then go for it. But yeah, though this full set is still costing you about $400 to $500, so I guess that does make sense. Starter decks, though, very much at a reasonable price. Again, the Straw Hat one most expensive, which, considering it's a pretty mid deck in my opinion. And I mean, Luffy is pretty decent, but Zoro is kind of Ooga Booga. But like, it's very RNG, right? It's very high roll. So I don't know. I don't think it justifies the price. But yeah, that's it on the sealed product. Hopefully, we'll see these prices continue to decrease. Let's talk about promos now. So the winner, Luffy, once again, sitting at $810. This has not really changed. And if we have a look at the sold listings on this, I probably should have opened this in advance. But if you have a look here, you can see they're not selling super frequently. Every couple of weeks we've got a couple sales. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's the one. And then if we look at the other ones, you can see the winner price is just tanking. These were all over $100 a week ago. Now they're closer to 50. I would expect these to stabilize around 30 to 40. And the reason for that is we literally have 2.5 months, basically, at the time of this recording, of these being given out. It's the first 2 weeks of these cards being available. So yeah. I would like to see them closer to $20. I think that would be nice. I think that's a very reasonable reward. You get a winner promo, it's worth $20. It's more than what you paid for entry. I think that's fine. Again, the entry promo, as you can see, this Luffy is around $20. I mean, this one is the best one by far. This the 2K counter Luffy. It does actually see play, but still, I think a little bit overpriced. And we can see most of these at relatively normal levels. The Pirate Party one, I think, is going to decrease as well. It's just not a super good card. This Law, I think, being a little undervalued at $3.50, I think it is a good card. It can see lots of play. Sunnykun, $9.70. Guys, I'm telling you, this is... I would expect to see this closer to set 2 really start spiking. Now, I've already got my copies sorted. I'm gonna have my playset. That's fine. And even if it went to $20, and like a couple of my things fell through, fine, I'll buy them. I truly would not be surprised during set 2 to see this promo spike to $40 to $50, which is ridiculous. It's a fucking vanilla. It is not a good card objectively, but in Zoro, which is one of, if not the best decks in the format in set 2, you play 4 copies of it because it's the only vanilla 1-drop that is Straw Hat traded, so it's the only one that's searchable off Nami. So, it's kind of annoying. It's one of those ones where they could really easily just print another promo that's a complete replacement and make it super easily accessible, and this would absolutely crash. And I hope they do, because I don't like the idea of this card being so expensive, but it is what it is. The rest of the promos here at a couple bucks, I think that's pretty reasonable. Let's now move on to set 1, and we'll begin with the rares. Nami, on an astronomical climb. It was $200 for a couple of days in the middle of the week here, down to 180, but this card just keeps selling. At this point, guys, I really do think you've missed the boat on Nami. If you wanted to get it for anything reasonable, wait for the restock or pick up the 25th anniversary alternate art variants, because yeah, this is a card that's pretty much going to be a staple for her from now until the end of time. You know, basically until it gets power crept, which you would hope would not be for several years. And this alt art, you know, I imagine we will get more alt art variants. I just feel like this is a card that's going to need reprints. The rare is at $2 right now. I would not be surprised to see this rare go to $5+. It will need reprints, so that's something to bear in mind. Bandai is usually pretty reasonably good about reprints, from what I remember from Dragon Ball Super, so we'll have to see. Doflamingo has gone down, from what I remember, is about 40 to 45 for a little bit there. Now it's down closer to 30. I would hope this card stabilizes in the region of 20 to 30. I think that's a reasonable price for it. Same with Sanji. Sanji's actually gone up in price, as deserved. I think this card was being mega slept on, and it's amazing alt art. Obviously, it does get an additional version in that 20th anniversary set, so that does have some impact. And Ulti Jack and Queen at prices you'd pretty much expect for cards that don't really see that much play. So, yeah, you're really rolling the die on a 50-50 on whether you get a good alt art rare or a bad one. I wish cards like Okiku would have gotten the alt art, or like Momonosuke or something. That would have been amazing. Anyway, let's look at the super rares and the secret rares. And these have decreased, actually, on the whole, but some have increased. So, Manga Shanks is climbing. I'm telling you, anyone who was fire selling these cards at $400 to $500, you're just hosing yourself. There was no reason to do it. They were all flooding the market at once. I still have our case's copy. I'm gonna go ahead and show that one there. Yep, still got it. I'm not getting rid of this for any less than £600, and I expect it to go to $1,000 because it's that much in Japan. It's a very rare card, and you know, they were all immediately bought up. And everyone I know who has a large amount of capital that is looking to invest to flip is picking up Manga Shanks. That's what they're picking up, because people are fire selling them at 400. So I would expect to see this card continue to climb, but I guess I will also add in the caveat. Clearly, I'm incentivized for it to climb, so maybe you can take that prediction with a pinch of salt, insofar as I'm even remotely qualified to give predictions, which I'm not. I'm just rambling in front of a camera. In front. Next, we've got Zoro alt art. This is, I think this is basically going to stick around here. This is absolutely one of, if not the best looking alt arts in the set. This artwork is phenomenal. It's a card that's a stable 4 of. The normal version is very expensive. You can see it at the bottom right there, and we'll come to that price in a second. It would be nice if this went down a little bit, but I wouldn't be shocked if it didn't. Hancock decreasing in value a bit. I believe this was over 100 for a little bit now. It's about 80. I think this is a reasonable price for this card. It's a very powerful card. Woman tax, because that's how card games work. And the art is really, really nice. So I think all those factors add up. Same with Yamato here. Less playable than Hancock at the moment, though Yamato does very much come into her own in set 2. So potentially this is worth picking up now to see, because I imagine it's going to increase in price come there. But I don't know. It is pretty expensive how good the card is right now, so I wouldn't be surprised to see it decrease in value. Law had a glow up and a half. If you remember 2 weeks ago, this card was $35. Part of me wishes I just picked up my playset then, but it is what it is. I'm not that fussed. I can wait until the second wave of boxes hit the market and the price tanks temporarily as they're all flooding. I think this is a very reasonable price for this card. I think it's really, really good. Anything between $40 and $60 wouldn't really surprise me. So we can see it go a little lower because it's not exactly a stable 4 of everything. It's literally only really super good in the lore deck. It's pretty decent in green, but its home is the lore deck. So Kaido 10 drop at $35. I think, again, this is a pretty reasonable price. I'd expect to see it somewhere around here. Same with that Luffy SR. I think it's pretty good. Kid spiking. It was about 25 to $30 last market watch, if I remember correctly. Now it's all the way up at 40. I think this makes sense, and we're only going to see this card climb as people realize, oh, damn, this card really is a meta-defining card, and it was severely undervalued. Going down here, we can see alt art Shanks at about $32. I would expect to see this alt art increase in price. It's Shank. Well, I say that. I also think it's way worse than the normal art, so it is an alternate art. It is rarer, but I do think a lot of fun is being stolen by that Manga Shanks. So there is that. King at 25. I'd expect to see this to go to 30 maybe. It's a card you don't need many copies of though, so there is that. Mihawk at again $25 is reasonable. As long as blue is kind of mid, this card's probably going to not be super expensive, but I think it's phenomenal, and the artwork on this, my god. I mean, I'm going to pick up a bunch more of these very soon. Zoro at $25. This spiked to almost $40 earlier in the week. 35 to $40 I was seeing sellings for, which is crazy. I really I'm glad it's come back down to 28, 25, and I hope it stays in this region, but again, depending on when that reprint is, we could see this card go very, very high. Yamato and Shanks both at around 20 bucks. This is the #1 card on this list where I look at that price and I go, yeah, the market has cracked it. That is reasonable. You only get like you only basically get like a playset per case. That's so 20 bucks of each rather. So 20 bucks I think is very reasonable. You know, they're both decent cards. They're not broken. Yeah, spot on. Crocodile decreased in value a little bit, down to 18 bucks. Nothing compared to the 9 I picked mine up at though, so I'm pretty gassed about that. Law increasing value at $14 though. Which is pretty wild. We're seeing this SR Law really go high. Most of the other SRs are Hancock at 7, you know, Tendril Kaido at 5, Kid at 4. I'd expect to see Kid go up a little bit. You do need, you play in basically anything that can run green, and Hancock is played in pretty much most blue decks, so I would expect to see those increase in price a little bit. Kaido as well, I mean, functionally, unless you're playing Blurble Croc, like, so I also wouldn't be surprised to see that card increase in value. Kino on Alt Art though, languishing at 8 bucks, is rough. But the card just doesn't see play right now. Until we get an Odin leader that can actually really take advantage of it, it's just going to sit here. So I may pick up a playset of it just to have, because it's so cheap, you know, why not? But yeah, and finally, to round off this market watch, let's take a look at the Alt-Art leaders. Zoro at 95, Trafalgar at 85, Monkey D. Luffy at 63, up here with Dofi at 65, Odin 46, and then 30, 30, and 20. So those bottom three pretty much unchanged. And Zoro and Law decreased, but and Doffy about the same. But Luffy, Odin, and Odin up $20, which I find quite baffling because neither of them are particularly good. Now Luffy does get better in set 2, from what I've seen, and so does Odin. But that's just a function of green getting some of the most incredibly powerful cards, like the new Yamato or the new Odin. My God, that new Odin card is incredible. So you know, green just gets better. Personally, I do think they are being a bit overvalued, but also alt art leaders are like, if you're going to spend money on blinging out your deck, this is where you go to, right? Like, this is the #1 choice you can make. So, I guess it does make sense. But with that being said, that is it for this market watch. Overall, I do think some overall less crazy shifts. We are seeing less volatility, which is nice. Though I would still keep an eye out on the promos in particular. We're going to be seeing that shifting quite a lot as more and more enter the market. And as people realise that there's less and less product out there, we might see prices start to, we might see buyouts, we might see all sorts of crazy stuff. It's definitely interesting to keep an eye on. So thank you very much for watching this market watch. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Please do like the video and subscribe to the channel. 80% of you not subscribed, come on guys. And keep an eye out for all these deck profiles that are going to be coming out over the next couple of weeks. And look forward to the next market watch, which I will make as soon as I get back. And I'm excited to do that. I'll be keeping track. Also, if any of you are going to be going to any of the UK regionals, say hi to me. But there we go. That's it. Thanks for watching. And I look forward to seeing you guys, past me, seeing you guys in the next video. Cheers.